So
kid athlete, he could go.
So we can jump back to the combine, but since you mentioned the Houston Texans and they're drafting at the end of the draft,
28,
they drafted 28, which means they had a good year from that standpoint. But they also trading offensive linemen. They Achilles heel. They said you can't. We need to protect Stroud, but they traded one offensive line. They traded 2 offensive linemen this week. One to the Browns and one to Detroit. But you need offensive linemen. What the heck's going on?
Well, you never know what's up, what they got up under their sleeve. They GM, I just don't trust him. But we don't know what he's doing. We don't know what he's gonna do as an organization. So you have to understand, they probably gonna get some guys free agent. And, of course, they're going to draft because most of the guys they're going to draft is old linemen. So they got to have something underneath their sleeves. Titus, I think they figured it was time for him to go. He, of course, they had the contract coming up, so getting Montgomery was a real good choice. They got to draft another running back, too. They had to get another bigger back.
So you're talking about they got David Montgomery from the Lions. From Detroit Lions,
29 years old.
For I believe they got him for a fourth rounder this year, a 7th rounder in 27, and then they sent an offensive lineman, Juice Scruggs, for David Montgomery. So that sounds like a lot for him. He's 29.
No, they need that back.
And it's his third team.
But they got draft picks. They got 2 second-round draft picks.
They got a 4th rounder, 7th rounder,
right?
That they gave away,
right?
And an offensive lineman. So here's my thing.
So if they get some lineman free agent, draft some good linemen, and you just never know because sometimes your 6, 7 round draft picks be the best.
No, they do. But one of the worst lines in football last year at protecting Stroud, and literally if they could have been bottom half of the league, we'd be talking about them in the Super Bowl.
Right, but here's the thing. Part of that offensive line, it wasn't their fault all the time. It was Coleridge, Bernard Stroud, the 4th fault. Holding the ball on, not getting rid of it. So, in times it was their fault. New England line did put it on them, but that wasn't – a lot of plays they held the line. And it was on him too, though.
So, to that point, I mean, it might make sense you ain't holding on to guys that didn't do it last year, so you're going to give some other guys a chance. But, anytime you're going to go to war with a bunch of young offensive linemen, by the end of the year, they're going to get schooled.
They try to stack that line. They need a tight end. They need a blocking tight end. And they trying to stack that line, which is smart. And they want to run more than they throw, especially keep the pressure off of Coleridge, Bernard Stroud.
So, but speaking of the Texans, I like Montgomery, but Kenneth Walker III, who just won a Super Bowl MVP, is free.
Yeah, but you
didn't even have to trade for him. You could just win a sign.
You also got to understand they probably
he's 3 years younger.
They probably had to give a lot to get him. Where they want to save that money, what they need, where they more needed. He could be the highest paid running back.
You need bodies over.
I understand that, but it's a reason why. It's because if they would have paid him all that money, that would have took a lot of slack in them getting linemen too, though, man.
What money?
Dallas Miller.
Listen. Javonte Williams just got $8 million a year. Breece Hall, which is on the franchise tag, got $14 million.
Right.
So he wasn't gonna get more than Breece Hall. So you gonna average out somewhere between $8 and $14 million. So say you're gonna give him $10 million. That's what David Montgomery is getting right now.
Okay, but for a prime example, if you got a couple other backs out there, because they got to get a back in the second round too. I get a lineman in the back. And if Mike Washington around and they got a chance to get him, you got Marks, you got him, that's a 3-legged monster right there. Because Marks is the 3rd down back. So if you get those guys and get him and get your stacked lineup, it ain't worth paying all that money for that running back getting them here.
We got some folks in the chat. What they saying to us, Julius? Okay, so the chat is saying
that's what I'm
Texans
saying.
are going to definitely pick up free agent O-lineman, which is definitely probably a good strategy since they were so terrible on the offensive line last year. But to your point, it wasn't all offensive line. It was Coleridge holding the ball.
And it ain't play calling.
The play call ain't changed.
And that's the thing. When you bring in this other coach, Gerard Johnson, who's the quarterback coach, They didn't renew his contract, and he left. And of course, he was ready to move around. And they got this other guy coming in, supposed to work with Brady. To me, ain't nobody. Brady is Brady. But they supposed to work with Coleridge. So we going to see. Coleridge complains a lot. We're going to see what happens. But at the end of the day, they're trying their best to keep everything around this guy. Because if he, like everybody know, he's going to get the boot if he don't get it this year.
Yeah, because this is the year they got to renew his contract or re-up his contract after this year with the 5th-year option. So this is the year that he has to make it happen. So you like the trade, and you like letting those offensive linemen go for the Texans.
Well, yeah, if they getting the right ones free agent and drafting the right ones and drafting running back and drafting a tight end, yeah, they need a young D tackle. So I wouldn't go crazy if that kid banks around, which I doubt if he be. They might trade up for him. If they decide just to grab him, which they need that, and then they get some other linemen, 2nd, 3rd round, because there's some other good linemen out there, big bodies out here, And I'm looking forward because we got Aaron going to come in.
What if the Alabama quarterback Todd Simpson is there at 28?
They ain't going to draft.
Do you take him?
No, not with the Texans.
Why not?
Say, man.
You got the heir apparent, and you don't have to pay that dude. You let him sit behind Stroud.
They're gonna draft. They're gonna draft unless they make a good trade, getting somebody like Burrow. But they'll draft a quarterback next year because you got a lot of good quarterbacks come out next year. So they'll draft one that they even say that for next year. Now, what I would love because I hear Burrow want to get traded, and I mean that would be, but I know they got to give up a lot to give him, But that would be interesting.